I've been renting this two-bedroom apartment for a couple of years now. I don't make a ton of money, so when rent went up again, I decided it was time to sublet the spare room. I figured, easy fix. Someone pays me half, I save a chunk of cash. I put up an ad, met a few people, and eventually settled on this guy named Tom. He seemed totally normal. Mid-30s, worked in IT, quiet and polite, the kind of person you'd want as a roommate. He paid me the deposit and first month's rent right away. No problem. Honestly, I felt like I'd scored. At first, everything was fine. He stayed in his room most of the time, cooked occasionally, and even kept things clean. But little things started bothering me. For example, he would get packages delivered to the apartment under a totally different name. When I asked, he brushed it off like, "Oh, it's just a business alias I use for online stuff." I thought it was a little weird. But hey, people have side hustles. Then, about a month in, I came home to find a paper taped to my front door. It looked official, like a legal notice. It said something about tenant rights notification, and that the primary tenant had no authority to force other tenants out without due process. It was addressed to me. Confused, I knocked on Tom's door. He came out like nothing was wrong. When I asked about the paper, he just smirked and said, "Yeah, I put that up. You should know I have rights now." That's when alarms started going off in my head. I tried to clarify, saying, "Look, this is my lease. I'm renting this place. You're just subletting from me." But he straight up told me, "No, actually, you're the one who doesn't belong here. You're not even the legal tenant anymore." He handed me a packet of papers, fake-looking documents that supposedly showed him as the primary tenant. He claimed he had worked out a new lease agreement with the landlord, which made zero sense because I'd just renewed mine 2 months prior. I called my landlord right away, and that's when things got even creepier. My landlord told me he had never spoken to Tom, never signed any new lease, and that my lease was the only valid one. But when I told Tom this, he doubled down, saying the landlord was lying and that I was going to be the one forced out if I didn't accept the new terms. After that, he got hostile. He started locking me out of certain rooms. Yes, my own apartment. He changed the Wi-Fi password, claiming it was his internet now. Once, he even put a chain lock on the front door, so I had to climb in through the kitchen window just to get inside. It got worse. He began inviting people over when I wasn't home. I came back late from work one night and found 3 strangers in my living room, all looking at me like I was the intruder. Tom walked out and said, "This is my place now. You need to start respecting that." I was furious, but honestly, I was also scared. Something about the way he talked. It wasn't just arrogance. It was calculated. Like he believed he had every right to take over my life. I went to the police, but because it was a civil housing matter, they told me it wasn't something they could resolve immediately. They advised me to go through the eviction process if I wanted him out. The problem was, how do you evict someone from your own apartment when you're the one with the lease? I started documenting everything. Photos of the chain lock, copies of his fake documents, text messages he sent threatening me. I gave it all to my landlord, who finally realized how dangerous this guy was. The breaking point came one night when I was woken up by the sound of drilling. I walked out to find Tom literally installing a new lock on the hallway door. When I demanded to know what the hell he was doing, he said, "This isn't your space anymore. You need to leave before things get messy." That was it. I called the police again, this time reporting him for harassment and unlawful entry. When they showed up, Tom tried to hand them his fake paperwork, acting completely calm, like he was the victim. But the officers saw right through it. They ran his name, and it turned out he had pulled similar stunts before in other rentals. They escorted him out that night, and he wasn't allowed to come back. My landlord immediately changed the locks and promised to never let me sublet again. Now I live alone again. Rent is steep, but at least I can sleep at night. Still, sometimes I wonder how long Tom had been planning it. The fake papers, the manipulation, the way he acted like it was all normal. It makes me think he wasn't just freeloading. He wanted control. And he almost got it.